Hello, Bethany family and friends. It's Wednesday, August 26th. Recently, in my morning devotions, I've been reading from the Old Testament book of Deuteronomy. One of the themes you see in Deuteronomy is God's expectation for his people to live in obedience to his commands. In Deuteronomy chapter 8, as it's nearing the time for the people to cross the Jordan River and enter the land, God is saying, be careful to obey all the commands I've given you. And so we're called to live in obedience to God. You know, sometimes people say, well, that's Old Testament. Rules, laws, regulations, which is true. And yet you look in the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verse 15, and we read of Jesus saying, if you love me, obey my commands. So one of God's love languages is obedience. I pray that you and I, in this time in which we live, that we will display an obedience to the love of the Lord, that we'll be aware of what God's commands are and live in obedience to them. Beth and I were blessed to travel to my nephew's wedding just this last week. Enjoyed that. It was outside with masks and appropriate social distancing. And we spent a few days in South Carolina. We've since returned. We did somewhere along the way recently managed to contract the COVID virus, and we both tested positive. So now we're in a period of isolation. You can see it's affecting my bronchial system, but we're actually not feeling bad, and it's worked out well, and that the required period of isolation will be the span of time we're here, as we're going to go spend a few days in Michigan here soon as well. So I miss being with you. I know the sermons that I'm giving now are having to be recorded because of this situation, but I am thankful that our symptoms are not too severe. And a couple of things to be aware of at Bethany you'll be hearing more about. One is where Compass is moving forward with interviewing for the open positions. They've gotten feedback from you, the congregation, and are reviewing that and then plan to move forward. You'll hear more about that soon as far as the interviewing for the new positions. Also, we're continuously monitoring the Sunday morning worship. We've gotten feedback about that as well. And you can look in the month ahead, probably going to be making some changes to the starting time, so just be watching for that. I know Compass is going to be communicating that as well. Well, as we continue to endure this pandemic season, let's stay faithful to encouraging one another through phone calls and Zoom calls. Let's spend time in prayer and be obedient to the Lord and his scriptures. God's blessings to you. Take care.